Today on Rivalry Sportswear, we profile one of the most exciting young players from the early 90s with a game-worn jersey. Stay tuned to the video. Welcome back, sports fans and jersey collectors. This is M. Diddy with Rivalry Sportswear, back with another NBA jersey showcase for you today. And if this is your first time stopping by, we do jersey-related content, jersey reviews across all of the major sports here at Rivalry Sportswear, customization, doing deep dives on the materials, constructions, and stories about the players that actually wore the jerseys. So thanks so much for stopping by. If you like this sort of content, please consider liking the video and also subscribing. It helps spread these videos to other people on YouTube that may enjoy the content. Thanks again for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, it's great to see you again. Today we've got a really cool jersey to show you today. It's a player from the early 90s in the NBA. He played probably about 10 years or so, but really most of his highlights, and aside from one very famous highlight, probably took place in the earlier part of the decade. It was teamed up with some other young players in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the Charlotte Hornets, and really had that fan base and really the NBA as a whole excited about what might be to come in future years. Ended up getting a giant contract and then was traded to New York. So you probably know who I'm talking about by now. None other than Larry Johnson, former Charlotte Hornet, New York Knick great. LJ, for those of you that may remember the 4-point play against the Pacers, and one of my favorite players growing up. I remember when he came into the league out of UNLV. I'll do more on that in later videos, but came in as a rookie as the first pick of the draft in 1990-91 and immediately made the Hornets exciting and relevant. Went to the All-Star game and performed in the dunk contest, won Rookie of the Year. Really was checking all the boxes, made an all-star team, and also made the 95 all-star team before getting traded to the New York Knicks at the beginning of the 96-97 season. So in that summer between, he got traded in a deal that involved Anthony Mason. So one of my favorite players when he first came into the league, super athletic, great post moves, was a great team player. And you can just see those highlights of him running the break with Muggsy Bogues, getting a thunderous dunk down, and then running over to Muggsy to hug him afterwards. It was just such a great environment. My dad actually had season tickets to the Hornets for 10 years, and I was fortunate enough to go to a lot of those games and watch the Hornets live, Larry Johnson up against Michael Jordan and other great players from that era. So feel very fortunate that I was able to attend those and create some great memories with my dad and my grandfather. And today I've got a special jersey. It's a game-worn jersey of Larry Johnson, Grandmama, part down the middle, gold tooth, thunderous jams, yelling after he dunks. So we're going to take a look at a jersey that he actually wore in-game. If you're not familiar with Larry Johnson, I suggest you look up his top 10 or some of his highlight videos, because it's really, he was a great player, undersized power forward, kind of in the mold of Charles Barkley, and it would have been really interesting to see what he would have done had he not had a really terrible back injury after only his second year in the league. So, but let's take a look at the jersey. This is the road jersey for the Charlotte Hornets, this beautiful, iconic teal pinstripe jersey. You've got these light blue, purple, and green pinstripes running throughout. The light blue, a nod to the designer Alexander Julian, who attended the University of North Carolina. So a nice little tip of the cap there. Carolina blue involved in the design scheme. He wanted to use a V-neck overlapping collar and a beautiful 5-stripe pattern there. I've always loved 5-stripe trim patterns, and I think it just looks beautiful on this jersey. We've got the pinstripes, 2-layer twill, white on royal blue, actually, and this stylized Charlotte Hornets font with a vertically arched Charlotte on the front. Just really nicely done. A really beautiful jersey. And then, of course, you can see down here, it does have the extra tag 92-93 designed and tailored exclusively for the Charlotte Hornets +3 body length. Size 53 +3. That is the size that LJ wore when he was with the Hornets. And then on the back, you see this, once again, very unique, stylized Charlotte Hornets font in Johnson on the back with the number 2. Just a really beautiful jersey. And I was actually thinking about selling this, and as I sit here and show it to you guys here today, I don't know if I can. It's just such a wonderful jersey. Reminds me so much of those childhood memories that I had with my grandfather and my dad, and one of my favorite players of all time. He certainly, statistically, may not have been the best because of those injuries, but for me, in the moments that I saw him play, and I actually went to his basketball camp the first 2 years he was in Charlotte, so I actually got to meet him several times, and a lot of really great memories. But Larry Johnson, 1992-93 Charlotte Hornets game-worn jersey. This was purchased by a friend of mine from our jersey collecting groups, and he then offered me the opportunity to purchase it from him. I would say probably 15 years ago. This has been in my collection, and so happy to have it. And I may move on from it one day, just to let some other big Larry Johnson collector enjoy it. I recently sold the purple alternate to probably the biggest Larry Johnson collector there is in the world. So he has inquired about this. I may move it to him, but for now, I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy to share those stories about one of my favorite athletes and basketball players growing up with you all. I hope you all enjoyed it. It sure brought a smile to my face. I'm going to send this to my dad and have him take a look at it. But we got one more video left for the week. Messi Quest tomorrow. So if you've been enjoying that series, please check that out. And we'll come up with a lineup for next week and continue getting you videos. So if you like this installment, please consider hitting that like button and also subscribing if you haven't done that yet. We certainly would appreciate it. And if you have already done those things, we really appreciate it. Thanks so much for continuing to stop by and check out the channel. And we've got more to come for you here with Rivalry Sportswear. So as always, this has been M. Diddy with Rivalry Sportswear. You all have been amazing, and I am excited and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, keep collecting, everybody.